Welcome to session 13 of Rose of Westhaven. Last session, Oddrun and Sasha discovered that the innkeeper Brock was a Deep One hybrid. They also found out that they asked his family, the Deep Ones, to take Marku, their elven companion, away. Further investigation led to them discovering a tunnel under Marku's house and signs of a struggle. So they pressed on into the underground labyrinth and eventually encountered a group of Deep Ones, led by a seemingly intelligent giant gloom crab worshipping Dagon around a huge chunk of gloomium. The hideously mutated form of their old comrade was chained to the gloomium. Although Oddrun, a fellow worshipper of Dagon, seemed happy to negotiate, Sasha wanted to put Marku out of his misery, so she improvised a small explosive from the powder of her gun and the small flecks of gloomium she already had. She shot Marku and slid the bomb towards the huge hunk of gloomium. The two fled as green fire blazed through the tunnels and rocks collapsed behind them. Arriving back at the surface, they discovered from the locals that a plume of green fire had risen from below the ground and engulfed the village of Innsmouth, just to the east of Porthcrawl, and the whole thing had collapsed into a huge crater. I'm now going to turn over to the players to introduce themselves.
My name is Dennis, and I'm playing Sasha.
Hello, my name is Johannes, and I'm playing Oddrun.
Hello, I'm Johannes, and I'm playing William of Riverhead, or Atramoth, depending on who you ask, and I'm just your friendly neighborhood demon boy.
And last but by no means least, we have our new player for this session, Rob.
Hello guys, as John says, my name is Rob Benefer, and I will be playing the new addition to the party. I will be playing Maddock Weimar, the dwarf from the dwarf hold from Mount Dew in Scotland.
Having purchased provisions, William heads towards the Siren's Whisper to rendezvous with his fellows. On the way, he sees a huge green light burst up into the sky from somewhere to the east of Porthcrawl, and there is a rumbling aftershock that ripples through the ground. By the time he arrives in the centre of town, there is a crowd of panicked townsfolk gathered around an almost hysterical trader who claims to have recently returned from the village of Innsmouth, about a day to the east of Porthcrawl. He paints a vivid picture of a column of green hellfire rising to consume the village, and then the whole thing collapsing into a crater. The crowd parts and a bold man with a beard steps out, surrounded by 4 armoured bodyguards. He wears the vestments of the Church of Westhaven and loudly proclaims himself to be Archdeacon Valentine Main, and that the church has sent him to assist in these dark times. He will shortly be taking up residence in the local church.
Okay, my instinct is to hide. I try to suppress it. And I'm just trying to move on.
William decides to make himself scarce and meets up with the others at the inn, where they catch him up on recent events, including their detonation of a large gloomium deposit that actually caused the plume of green fire that everyone's talking about.
They had an incident, and she kind of shifts over to Oddrun.
Oh, by the way, there's a new Inquisitor or something in town. He's going to live in the church.
Oh,
just
great.
saying.
Sasha shifts a little uneasy.
Does this man follow the ridiculous one god that these people do?
Yes.
It should be an easy enough task to crush him.
I don't think that would be wise. The people here like him. I mean, we could do it if no one sees it, but...
Whilst they are talking, there is a knock at the door, and
We're closed! He calls out. Go away!
they see Angus Drummond, the dwarven blacksmith of Porthcrawl, standing outside. With him is another dwarf leading a large, horse-sized goat.
Yeah, probably a similar kind of height to Drummond. My skin, however, looks like just kind of craggy rock kind of colour. My eyes are obsidian black, and my hair is much similar to my own, except for it is more almost like strands of copper opposed to actually hair itself.
Drummond introduces them to Maddock Weimar, saying that Maddock is looking for people who might know about the Stone Circle in Dirtmoor.
Right, Drummond, that's enough. You go and do whatever you need to do if this is the people I need to be speaking to.
By stone and steel, I tell you it is true. These are the people who went to the stone circle at Dirtmoor. I have it from Jasper himself last time I was drinking with him. He guided him there through the wetlands of the moors.
Aye, you said. Go back to your forge, wee man.
She goes
And
up
you
to
say
the
your
bar.
name's Sasha?
Yes, of Riverhead. And this is Will of Riverhead. Do you want a drink?
Oh, gods, no. Not him again. Right, if we're dealing with this, can I be talking to you, Sasha, rather than that soft piece of grass?
I'd take a side eyes to Sasha. Bill?
Aye, that's your name.
No, it's not.
So, a drink?
I'll pull up a stool and very graciously take the whiskey and just kind of... He goes, so, you're not Bill?
No.
Right. Have you got a twin?
You could say so. I want to kill him.
I've only spent a few hours with him and I can understand that. He goes, I asked for simple directions and he followed me for 2 hours trying to get me to drink milk and honey and making sure I got to the right place.
Where was this?
Oh, that was Longest Wolds.
During discussion, Sasha hears a frail voice complaining about being thirsty. No one else seems to have heard it, and when she follows it to the source, she finds a dried-up plant behind the bar. Rushing out to get water from the well, she gives it to the plant and hears the voice respond gratefully.
You are looking for us?
Aye. I'm looking for anyone that might know about the stone circle in Dirtmoor.
Do you know about this place?
Oh, aye. The dwarfs constructed it, you see. I'm here because I got kicked out of my hold because of all this, and I want to get it sorted so I can get back. When it was built, each of the 7 families of the dwarves that lived in the mines under this place gave a person who'd had a life worthy and strong enough to be of note, and they dedicated themselves and put their souls inside the stones to stand guard. But the stone, before it could be truly laid in place, before a soul could be put inside it, the mine struck something to do with any kind of gestures to Audrin's glowing green stew. So, something like that. And the mines had to be evacuated. Everyone had to leave. And now all the dwarfs left this place. They went back up to Scotland. So the 8th was never truly finished. And I'm assuming those that were left here started to try and patch the hole. I've kind to find someone suitable and put them there.
I go
When you
through
say
my...
suitable, I presume you're talking about the more heroic types from all the stories and legends. It's that kind of guy we're looking for, right?
Someone that's served a life that has had purpose. Someone that's strong of will, has served in arm and in mind.
William suggests Captain Hayes, and after some discussion they head to Hayes' home. Explaining the situation to Hayes, he is finally convinced to volunteer when Sasha speaks privately to him.
We need a person of great fortitude, of a person willing to do the right thing, to act as the guardian, the last seal in this circle, to keep the Lord of Words at bay. And for that, we need someone who has served loyally, valiant for many years, who is of equal mental fortitude as physical fortitude. We need, in lesser words, we need a hero, someone like you.
Strapping his armour on, Hayes joins the heroes.
Sasha looks at him with admiration in her eyes, but
Visiting Jasper the Gloombugger on their way to Dirtmoor, Jasper agrees to act as a guide, but suggests they leave their mounts behind with his daughter Missy, because their weight would make it more dangerous on the unstable path through the moors. Travelling on foot to the moors, the heroes trek for 2 days, menaced by wisps and other dancing lights of the eerie, wet moorland. They also encounter a man who appeared to be sinking into one of the stagnant pools. Sasha goes to help the man before realising that he has strange demonic symbols carved into his skin. The man mocks them in the voice of the Lord of Words and attempts to drown Sasha.
I would tie a rope around me and give Audryn the end and run towards her, drawing my rapier.
Trying to defend herself, Sasha casts a spell, but under the stress of the situation, it misfires and renders her unconscious. Seeing no alternative, William wades into the water and slays the scarred man before pulling Sasha to safety and reviving her. At the start of the 3rd day, they reach the stone circle. William scouts it out ahead of the others and can see there are 6 men conducting some sort of ceremony around a bonfire. From the black smoke of the bonfire, the Lord of Words' voice chants,
"We are now 6. When we are 8, the sacrifice will be made, and I will be free to bring the joy of service to this world."
Determined to draw the cultists from the circle, Audryn attracts their attention, calling on his deity Dagon and bringing rain to the circle.
Fellow devotees, abandon your weak spirit, for it is not but a twig to be crushed by the mighty arms of Dagon.
Outmatching the mind-controlled cultists, the heroes, with the aid of their new ally Maddock and Captain Hayes, make short work of them. While the last couple are being mopped up, William approaches the fire, speaking in demonic so that none of his mortal companions can understand him.
We are going to renew your seal. I won't stop this, but you will be caught in here for a couple of time. Maybe as long as you have already been, if I don't do anything. I offer you a shortening of this time. I will come back here and weakening the seal when I got my body back. And that's what I want from you. Tell me, how can I leave this body and get my old one back? I know you have more wisdom gotten from our master than I did.
And why should I give you this knowledge? I know what the promise of our kind is worth. Swear it to me, Atramos, on your true name that you will free me, and I will give you the information that you seek.
I, Atramos, solemnly swear that I will come back here and weakening the seal so that you may escape one day.
You are a being divided, Atramos, one of darkness and one of light. If you slay the one who possesses the other half of your soul, your form will be reunited and you will be free of this vessel, this puny sack of human skin and bone.
William smiles and laughs manically as the last of the cultists is killed. Maddock tells Hayes where to stand and the captain kneels down, crossing himself and clasping his sword, saying, "Do it then, Master Dwarf, before I lose my nerve." Maddock asks each of the heroes to give the captain something to help him in his eternal watch. The last to do so is Sasha.
She leans in and remember all the good you did, all the good times you had in this life, and may they bring you warmth in your vigil. And she leans in and gives him a kiss on each cheek.
Hayes smiles and in return gives her a small handkerchief with the initials GH embroidered on it. The ceremony is completed.
Now, let you reach your end, not the cold dark end of anyone else, but the end that is now to be standing tall and stone like the mountains, to protect for all time.
And Hayes transmutes into the 8th standing stone, causing the deep voice and the smoke from the fire to fade away.